Hey everybody, how you doing? This is about to be a really fun video. I'm gonna try to get this done as quickly as I can. So something that people ask me about pretty much on a daily basis is how do you sight stuff in? Well, for the longest time I did a laser bore sighter. The thing broke after I used it like 200 times and I never got another one. Then I just went to doing the old school method of taking the bolt out, you know, if I can work the bolt. Take the bolt out, you know, put it in a lead sled, look through the barrel, adjust the scope and get it pretty close, then take it out. That method works pretty good. People have been doing that ever since scopes were invented. But using a laser and having it in a vise definitely is much more precise. And that's what I'm gonna do quickly today and show you with my brand new CVA Cascade 270 I just bought. One complaint about the CVAs. CVA puts these stickers on the barrel. I thought it was just gonna peel off. Well, now I got all this goo. I gotta wash all this sticker goo off the barrels. If you let that get hot, it's gonna be even more nastier. Anyways, we're here to talk about bore sighting. So last week, I was in town and Sportsman's Warehouse. I'm looking what's the cheapest laser bore sighter they had. Well, it was this one. So I picked it up off the shelf. Never heard of this brand. Sight Right muzzle laser bore sighter, and it's supposed to have a bunch of stuff. Essentially, you put this in the barrel and it shoots a laser, and then you align your scope to the laser that's in the barrel. So basically doing the same thing as looking down the barrel, except it's more precise because you've got a laser. I got a scope and stuff I'll show you here in a second. We're going to get mounted on this 270, and yeah, I'll show you everything I'm doing. I was also waiting to do this video because I got a new camera to film through the scope to help you see what I'm seeing. So let me get all this stuff set up, slapped together, and I'll show you how to use one of these laser bore sighters. And then we're going to take it to the range and see if it worked. All right, so I'm already frazzled and wishing I hadn't bought this thing, and let me show you why. This is not the type of laser bore sighter that I thought it was. Used to be you could get a little size per barrel and just real quick use that size, boop. This is a mess, man. Unless you have a bunch of patience, I probably wouldn't pick up this type, this exact one. Let me show you why and how it works. So for this one to work, it came with all these little O-rings, and you have to get a matching set like this right here, put them on there, and then just jam them in the barrel. You know what I'm gonna lose? Probably one of each of all these. So I'm not too hot on how this style works, but that's what I got, and I spent 40 bucks on it, so I'm going to use it anyways. Me personally, after I spent the 15 minutes of hassle of trying to size these up and get the exact same size, I would as soon just look through the barrel. But we're going to rock with it anyways on this 270. So I found the right size, and you put two of them on there. I'll pull it back out, and it just kind of, because of those O-rings getting tight in there, and make sure this little stick screwed in good. You just put this in there and those O-rings kind of get forced down the barrel, and then it just, hopefully that's centered on the barrel. It's not much wiggle room. It might be good, but man, then this little switch turns the laser on. I'll show you all this in a second. But the scope I picked for this, budget-friendly long-range scope in the grand scheme of things, Zerotech Vengeance 4-26x50. With my code right now, I just put it up in the screen again to verify it. Under 300 beans for this. And this one's got the Christmas tree reticle. I'll show you, it's got all the dials, so we're gonna stretch this one out with 270. It's gonna be a whole lot of fun. And it didn't cost a fortune. Zerotech Vengeance, and we get 20% off, code WHOTEEWHO on those. And I went to my stash of rings and grabbed these rings. Hey, what do you know? We got the same code on these. We get discounts on ARC and everything too with the same code. But now I've got to get the rings on, the scope on, torque it all down, and then I'll show you how to fool with these little laser things. Also, shout out to CVA for actually using Torx bits on their rails. And this Cascade came with the rail. I didn't have to go buy one. So, plus it came with a rail, and plus they used Torx bits instead of tiny Allen screws. thumbs up on that. All right, now this is while I was waiting for the scope camera to give you a through the scope view. So this is still on the vise in my desk. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera on, turn the laser on rather. And it's not even in the view of the scope yet. So let me back the scope out. Where is the laser? Oh man, you gotta be kidding me. So the laser's super low. Let me start turning on the scope dials here. Laser's low, we need to go up. If we start cranking on this scope, still not going to be in there. I'm going to have to back out further. So I've got it right now looking at the wall, like 1 yard away. So let me go back out and we'll put it in the lead sled and have the laser further away. So having the wall 1 yard away does not work. Let me put it in a different vise quick. Alright, so I've stepped this off. This is now 17 to 18 yards away. You can see now I can see the laser. Now what we want to do is, the scope is obviously looking through the scope, and the laser is aligned perfectly with the barrel, or almost perfectly. Now my typical thing I do at 10 yards is have the laser be about 2 inches low, or the barrel be about 2 inches low of where my scope is looking. So for this, that would mean the laser is too high. So I need to dial in the down direction, which this scope's got the 0 stop on from factory. Man, I'm gonna have to take off the 0 stop. Hold on. While I'm sitting here, I might as well fix the left and right. So the left and right, obviously we want to be in the middle. So that looks about perfect right there. Now let me go get some wrenches. I've got to take the 0 stop off of this. Okay, so where were we? I understand the concept of the 0 stop, so you can quickly come back down to 0, but I don't like them for that specific reason. That keep me from dialing any lower. So now what I want to do is have my dial roughly 2 inches below of where I'm aiming at. So I'm going to go ahead and back it out. That's on the wall right there. The right to left looks a little hinky, doesn't it? And that's probably going to be pretty close. So again, it doesn't have to be exact. You can figure out your exact one, but you can see me dialing the scope here. Because the laser is in the barrel and the barrel is below my scope, I want it to be roughly right there. And I can zoom the scope all the way in. You can see that reticle there. I think they call this the RMG reticle. Left to right good. My laser is beneath the crosshairs, 1.5 to 2 inches ish, and we should be good to go. Now if you can see this thing at 100 yards, if you're doing it at dusk or something, well then you just do it just like that, and then you'd pretty much be dead on. But since I'm in the house and the furthest spot I could get was 17, 18 yards, I'm going to have the laser be a little bit low. Now that we're good to go, we're going to go out to the range and verify that this got us on paper. So let's go out to the range. Alright, so I got this camera recording and my scope camera recording, which to be quite honest, I'm not the biggest fan of this. It doesn't record that well. I'm gonna do split screen. This camera isn't a great representation of the clarity of the glass of this scope. There's actually a focus knob on this, and it's basically impossible to get it to focus great. You more or less focus the reticle so you can see the reticle really good in the camera, but then the focus of the object isn't perfect. So you can see me adjusting my parallax here. That's got it looking a little bit clearer, but hey, this is a great scope. And I know there's going to be comments in there too. Oh, your scope's not leveled I can see it. Well, I promise you, my scope is leveled. I did everything perfect. I had a level on this, a level on the rail, a level on the scope. It's perfectly level. It's my camera that's not perfectly level, and I was just too lazy to fix it. So the camera's a little bit crooked, so it's gonna make it look like the reticle's a little bit crooked, but here's the moment we've all been waiting for. Drum roll, please. Is it gonna be on paper at 100 yards? Did this guy do what he was supposed to be doing? 130 grain Remington core lock. Let's see how she sends them. It's also the first time I've ever sent anything downrange with 270 with a suppressor. So that fed good. First one I've fed in this rig. I'm gonna hold center of the paper. We still recording on everything. Yep. And let's see if we get a hit on the paper. Here we go. All right, so if you look in the scope camera, try to get the reticle out of the way. I aimed center dot and I hit 1 inch high and 1 inch right. So, hey, not too shabby. Let me get these ears out so I can hear what I'm saying. Not too shabby. Do those laser bore sighters work? Yeah, they work. It worked here today. We got an inch from bullseye using that thing. But is it a lot of hassle? Maybe for some, maybe not so for others. Is looking down the barrel pretty much just as good? Assuming you have a lead sled or something to help you hold it still, the looking through the barrel method works pretty good, or even having it up on a bipod, just as long as it's stable and you can look through the barrel, then make your scope adjustments without the thing moving a bunch. But hey, bunch of y'all been asking about laser bore sighters, so there's a laser bore sighter. The one that I used to have was a magnet that you put on the end. That thing worked great. I wish it never broke. But even that is reliant on the end of the barrel being perfectly flat and perpendicular to the barrel. But I never had any problems with that one either. This one with the 2 O-rings and all that, to me, it's kind of a hassle. If I'd known that that's how it worked and read more, I probably wouldn't have bought it. But anyways, it worked. Appreciate y'all watching. Stay tuned. Lots more coming on this 270 and a whole lot more. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next one. Hoo-dee-hoo.